Hello and welcome to Solomoriah Speaks, episode 23 of Stories and Storytellers. Now, this is not going to be a typical video for me. If you have watched the channel for more than 5 minutes, you realize that virtually all the videos I do here are directly related to old school gaming in some sense or another. This is more peripherally connected, but I promise it's connected at least a little bit. It's not going to change your life. It's not going to alter how you run your game. It's probably not even particularly important. But I was in a conversation with a friend on Facebook who had posted a meme that I disagreed with. And I told him that I did not believe I could adequately express my disagreement in a Facebook post. I promised a video, so here it is. The particular Facebook user is Laws the Eye Wizard, or just Laws the Eye. I will throw his hello there. This is my other black and white cat, Spencer. I'm in my house right now. Cole lives in my office, so if you're a fan of the channel and you are familiar with my cats, this is a different one, but still. Sit down, buddy. Yep. Laws posted the following meme. Memories come from the unexpected, the surprise. Storytellers don't like stories per se. They like having an audience. If you really like stories, you like not knowing what happens next. It's what drives you to turn the page. And I said in my brief reply on Facebook that I disagreed on several levels. At least two. I'm not sure if several was an accurate depiction, but at least two levels. The first is the statement that storytellers don't like stories per se, they like having an audience. I don't believe that's accurate. I don't believe anyone is a storyteller just because they want an audience. There's lots of things you can do to get an audience that don't involve telling stories. And telling stories well is a skill you have to acquire over time, that you have to acquire through practice, that you have to acquire through paying attention to what causes your listeners to zone out or wander away and not do those things so much. There's definitely an art to it. But storytellers do like stories. Maybe not all stories, but they like stories. At least they like the stories they wish to tell. Maybe the stories they're telling just make them look good. Maybe the stories they're telling are about family or friends that they are proud of and that they wish to boost them, to improve their reputation, or just to brag about them honestly, to feel good. Many stories are none of that. They're just interesting stories. A ripping tale, as the history guy says occasionally. And that's fine too. If you don't love the story, why would you bother to tell it? So I disagreed with that statement, with that part of the meme. I don't think that this is one of my other cats, Sabrina. And Sabrina is aggressively loving, as you can easily see. I don't believe that part about storytellers not liking stories. For that reason, I believe storytellers have to love stories. But that's not the only thing I disagree with. Memories don't come from the unexpected. That was the first line. Memories come from the unexpected. Memories do come from the unexpected. When something unexpected happens, it's memorable. That's what we say. But there are many things that are memorable that are not necessarily unexpected. You know your child is going to graduate, or at least you're fairly certain they are. When they graduate from whatever school they're attending, you're proud of them, you're happy with them, and you remember it. It is memorable, even though it's not unexpected. And here comes a third cat. Murray may be in the frame momentarily. But Sabrina, you're just too aggressive. You need to get down. Okay, back in this. So I disagree on the level of the memories coming from the unexpected. It's not the only place memories come from. If you really like stories, you like not knowing what happens next. That's just part of the same question about memories. It's what drives you to turn the page. I don't think that's true. Yeah, it's fun to read a story for the first time. It's fun to experience a story for the first time. Read it or watch a movie or a TV show or hear someone tell a good story. It's fun to do that the first time. It's fun to have the experience of not knowing what happens next. But I know I'm not alone when I say that there are many stories I read over and over again. For example, I read the first 5 books of Roger Zelazny's Amber series about every 5 to 10 years. I dig them out and I read them from the start. I have lost multiple copies of those books over the years and bought new ones to replace them. I know what happens, more or less. It's a complicated story and I don't remember everything, but I know what happens. There's not an aspect of surprise to it. But yet I love the stories and I read them over and over. I don't think that you only turn the page to find out what happens next. There is a pleasure in experiencing the story, whether or not you know how it turns out. And this has been borne out in actual research, which I'm not going to bother to dig up, but I do remember reading about it. Many people enjoy a story even when they know it. In fact, in many cases, reading or watching a familiar narrative is comforting. It makes you feel better to re-watch old TV shows or reread old books that you've read that you really enjoyed. Obviously, you're not going to reread books that weren't really hardly worth turning the pages in the first place. The books that maybe you only read because you really did kind of want to know what happened in the end, and once you were done with them, you were done with them. There are stories like that are, at least for some people, uncomfortable enough to get through that they don't want to witness them again, that they don't need to experience them again. And there are stories that people will go back to over and over again. That's just the nature of the beast. But so I disagree that surprise is the only place memories come from, which is more or less what the first sentence of this meme says. I disagree that storytellers don't like stories as stories, that they only want an audience. I feel very strongly that to be a storyteller, especially to be a good one, you kind of have to love the stories. You have to love the stories enough to want to learn to be a good storyteller, so people will want to listen to you, will want to listen to the story, so that people can love the story as much as you do, or at least to some extent have the opportunity to. I don't believe surprise is the only reason for turning the page. I don't believe surprise is the only reason for reading the story or watching the story or whatever, experiencing the story. So I guess 3 levels at this point. As I said, this video is not going to change anyone's minds or lives. It's not important at all. I'm doing it because I promised Laws that I would, and Lord, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If it's Lowe's, I apologize. But my ocularly endowed associate indicated he was curious as to why I disagreed, and I could probably have written that down, but it was just easier to get it out in a spoken word, to tell the story, as it were, of how I feel about it. No idea if this is a short one or not. I'll have to look at the video and see. I've been considering 2 other videos that I will probably try to get around to soon. Look very soon for a video about the activities they're gonna take place at FallCon this year. I'm getting something put together, but I don't quite have the registration set up yet. We're putting together a public event, and when I get the registration fully set up and it's ready to go, I will make a video to explain all about it. Hope you all Hope you all get the opportunity to watch it, and I hope at least some of you show up, are able to show up. I'm not putting it on you. It's a long way for most people to go, but out here to the middle of nowhere. But I want to put the invitation out. I want people to know we're going to do something at FallCon in Quincy, Illinois this year, and I will give a lot more details probably in my very next video. Thank you for your time. Hope you have a nice day. Talk to you later.